Where do you think you're going?
Is the green movement putting us on the road to serfdom? Yes, says James Dellenpole. He's one of the journalists who broke the ClimateGate scandal. He published some of those emails that revealed some scientists were manipulating data to support their alarmist position on global warming. And you now write that the green movement's taking us off the road to recovery, on the road to serfdom.
Absolutely. There was a wonderful spoof done by the British satirical magazine, The Daily Mash, which is like The Onion. And they were satirizing about how the government, the British government, was going to pay off our national debt. And the government was going to do this by breeding unicorns and selling them to the Chinese for £300,000 a pop. This is what green jobs are like. Green jobs are like unicorn farming. They're a fantasy about how we're going to rescue our economy. They don't work.
But the jobs exist. Somebody gets a job making windmills or solar panels.
Yeah. They're only economically viable with massive taxpayer subsidy. For every green job created by government spending, i.e. taxpayer spending, 3.7 jobs are lost in the real economy.
Because the money gets taken from somewhere to create the job for the windmill maker.
Of course it does, yeah.
All right, so you took some heat for helping expose ClimateGate. What happened?
They like to play the man, not the ball. You know, they don't like to deal with arguments, the people on the other side. I'm talking about the warmists. They like to do...
The warmists?
The warmists. They like to do hatchet jobs because they didn't like what I had to say and they wouldn't engage me on the facts of my argument.
And the one university actually brought an actual case
Yeah,
against
that's
you.
right. They reported me to the Press Complaints Commission. They spent, you know, more taxpayers' money trying to pick on me for writing the truth. This is how they operate.
Now, more recently, you wrote, picking up on the Al Gore claim in his movie, "The science is settled."
Science is settled.
You write, U.S. liberals really are the dumbest creatures on the planet. You were referring to this Chris Matthews clip.
The Republican Party are basically lining themselves as anti-science, with some exceptions like Huntsman. They're willing to go out there and say they believe the world's about 5,000 years old. They basically go back to fundamentalist views about creationism, and they really don't have any problem being anti-science.
Anti-science.
I think, you know, it is not anti-science to question a very, very flimsy theory. That is good science. That's how science advances.
And you know, just for the record, I want to say the globe has been warming. Man may play a part. Can we do anything about it now? This stuff that he's talking about that costs billions in subsidizing windmills and solar power, the Earth won't notice. Maybe in 10 years we can do something, if it's a problem.
Yeah, it was warmer in the medieval warm period. There weren't international committees trying to decide what can we do about this worrying warm weather, which is...
Climate changes.
Climate changes.
But there are a lot of serious climatologists who are genuinely worried, believing that our producing so much carbon dioxide might be doing a build-up effect that could harm us.
And that's their prerogative of scientists to construct these theories. But equally, what they should do is give a bit of space to the scientists who are coming up with alternative theories. And at the moment, they're not doing that. They want to close down the argument. As you say, or rather, as Al Gore says, the science is settled. Well, the science ain't settled. Science ain't never settled.
Now, you're from Britain. Margaret Thatcher once wrote, "Climate change provides a marvelous excuse for worldwide socialism."
He's absolutely right.
And what does she mean, worldwide socialism?
This is what essentially my book is about. You know, green on the outside, red on the inside.
All right, well, let me introduce your new book, Watermelon, the Green Movement's True Colors.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What environmentalism does is enables the left to advance its causes under the cloak of polar bear hugging ecological righteousness. You know, people can identify with that. You know, the glaciers are melting, the polar ice caps are melting, the polar bears are in danger. People get worried about this stuff in the way that they wouldn't. If somebody said, let's nationalize the means of production and let's raise taxes because this is the right thing to do, people wouldn't like that. But when you're told that the experts say that this is the only way to save the world from the greatest crisis it has ever known, then suddenly people allow this agenda to be advanced, and it is dangerous for us all. It is going to deprive us of jobs, it is going to raise our taxes, it is going to increase the cost of energy, it is going to make us less free. And I think this is a
What's
matter
the
of
watermelon reference? I don't get it.
green on the outside, red on the inside.
I see. Okay. And you write, welcome to the passive-aggressive world of global watermelons. Socialism hiding behind the guise of environmentalism.
Yeah, that's absolutely it.
Beneath their smiling facade, the watermelons represent a ruthless totalitarian outlook. Come on, they just want to help us.
They do it because they care. If you look at the stuff they write about, they talk about their master plan for this new world where the enlightened ones rule us, you know, democratically unaccountable enlightened ones, needless to say.
Why do you mean? We can vote them out. We can vote their supporters out of office.
Not if they work for the EPA, not if they work for the United Nations. You know, there are all these NGOs which are Greenpeace, the Worldwide Fund for Nature, or the World Wildlife Fund. These organizations have power. They influence business. They essentially blackmail business, I think. They change the world, you know, and what recourse do we have against them? We did not vote for these guys.
Who's going to go work for the EPA? Is it going to be some careful analyst or some environmental zealot? I think it's the zealots who apply.
Yeah, one of the most famous phrases from the Club of Rome's book, the earth has a cancer, and the cancer is man.